Yes, we are live. Indeed, we are live. Fambulem, I bring you warm greetings from the TNN, then and now TV Media Empire. Today, now the 18th of June, 2023. Me with the talk to name Prince Emil Roman. And also we can get fatigue. It's obvious. Of course, even machine you put them on, there's a point where you get for turn the machine off. Or after a period of time, the machine itself can wear and tear. So I can understand this very well. But this is a fight that we are all in it together. And when I say so, I say this with a very open mind. And the reason why I say so is because not very long ago, in fact, as a matter of minutes, Miko Anko, the rising star of the television media empire, Sekou John Barry, was just on the media hosting a professor who spoke eloquently. They were very insightful, but obviously, that make the point where I say we can get fatigue because when I just come and watch one program just now and another one they come on. So we go ask Una, please, make we help for shape this program because yes, we are stepping into the future. We are shifting the gears of the conversation. This is not the TNN TV Media Empire platform. Once more, this is not the 18th day of June 2023. Most of you go don't see the item we can talk about, and I just give you a preamble or I just water on a mouth to take towards them for waiting they come away from the title we say APC issues a 72 hours ultimatum. President Bio name calling. Is it a weakness or a strength? The is it is not there, but that does not imply it's not because it does end with things that one discuss in the program. In fact, not likely. It's going to be a calling program. If you get a view, you should challenge you to this. Radiation, your sexual orientation, your tribal affiliation, your regional connection. You do definitely get a view. And that view they now want for tap into Una. So we go understand how we all they go forward. Having said this, the format of this program is we expect few people for appear. But the usual script, we expect people for come in and out. So one subscriber or one contributor will appear, and then they make them point, and then they go fade out, and then somebody else will come and make them point, just like that. While we, when they host the program, go pine. Sekou John Barry will be joining me on this program, but of course, Fambule wanna go understand. He just finished another program, 2 hours of talking, not a small thing. So of course, you got to go rest, try for lubricate you gongongo, as we can call them. Then come back again and continue the conversation. But on a more serious note, this na the TNN TV Media Empire platform. Today na the 18th day of June 2023. Elections is looming very close. That we're reaching to a critical point when I make with the talk so. So please don't touch that dial. And whilst you know they touch the dial, the only violation where you can do in this case, now for help for share. So, okay, once more, I bring you a warm greetings from the hub of the conversation, which is the TNN TV Media Empire. Famulem. Almost 5 years ago today, and I repeat, almost 5 years ago today, The current president of the Republic of Liberia, I say Liberia, forgive me. The current president of the Republic of Sierra Leone, His Excellency, retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, was elected by the people of Sierra Leone. Want talk reality, no fiction. When he was elected by the people of Sierra Leone, it was on the basis of some basis on which he was elected. What do I mean by this? He had a message. The message resonated with the people. One of the things then where the people elect the current president for, now for let it change their life. Because the responsibility, after all, of every government, or one of the major responsibility for any government, now the welfare of its people. It has to look after it. No government no go deny this. No head of state or president will not deny this. This is just a fact. You look after the well-being of your people. Make sure say you people them then gladdy. Make sure say you people them then get access to the basic amenities of life. This will be water, it will be electricity, it will be health, for work, make money, put money in your pocket, feed your family. If not rent, you rent house, you're able for rent house and pay a landlord. If not your house, you're able for pay other bills than within the house. But the bottom line is you're able for grab na money and go. At the end of the month, you get paid, taxes are cut, government generates revenue. You say bring little thing kind of house. You and your family, you happy, your wife happy with you, your children are happy because they are eating and then they eat fine, and you're able to buy uniform for them, clothes for them, and send them to school, and then come back and have other social life. Then they will feel a secure atmosphere. This is what every government believes in. This is what every government should be doing, should do. These are the expectations of every people, wherever in the world. Africa, the Western world, is the same. This is a basic fundamental principle. This is why we go into election in the first place. So that if somebody fail then we've got a choice. And in a democracy, this is not the vehicle where we can use for go express we opinion. So then, going back again, President Bio was elected on this basis. He wrote out a manifesto, or in party write out a manifesto. In the manifesto day, he outlined what he intend to do for the people of Sierra Leone. Now, 5 years on, it's judgment time. And the misinformation, the disinformation from all sides, don't get we all confused. The country, as we speak today, they're in a state of heightened tension. These are facts. We've seen the president on the campaign trail. They use language where me feel say, and I know say a lot of people, decent people, know say those language are not of the president, not of the Fountain of Honor. I won't talk too much about that today because in my last platform or my last program, I talk a lot about it. But the beginning of this program is the fact that when President Bio take power, or when the people of Sierra Leone voted President Bio into power, imagine the mantra. Imagine this wonderful saying, the bread and butter. How local that language was and how it was resonated with the people. Butter. Those of us who understand the language. Which when I use with language, because why each Adam was a problem. It was a problem. Time previous government explained to now affected direct and indirect investment. Investor they will be already in the ground, and one of the country in basic commodity when iron ore, fine iron ore, will be they make the country a lot of money. The price loss, the commodity loss in value 3 times in value, 3/4 of in value, 9 in loss. So obviously that will affect the economy. I'm not here to make that case day tonight. Fast forward to where this family will not forget it. 5 years ago, to the election, where you go to be exact. That people are the test to job. Accept of university of price. Basically, the people way government people problems with this, and some of course we will get for going into that, is at this point in time, based on waiting candidate BOC then prior to 2018 elections and when he became president, and waiting to happen, that was the difference. If there's a difference, the magnitude of quantifying is different. So just remind in you. So obviously the internet they play up, but definitely this video will be played. The number still down. There is about 45, 50 of us watching. If we can continue for please share. We don't say minutes ago, and like I say, people are fatigued. Notwithstanding issues in the APC, going to post that. A few other things. He was raw in his attack for the former president. I mean, that was ungentlemanly. That's a fact. The way the current president carried that out, because there are things that are above him. That's why he is the fountain of honor. And then he was followed up by the first lady. But then, like I say again, we'll come to that. We get people that we get for analyze that for we.
Suffering under the weight of corruption and the mismanagement of the All People's Congress. I have seen it at first hand, from Falaba to Kedima and from Island to the people want change. The people are tired of the suffering of paying for a bag of rice at 200,000 from only 60,000 in 2007.
During the 2018 debate, we see some candidates and they say, oh, this country don't have for corruption, we don't have for this, the price of rice. And all this 60,000 and 20,000 to change. How much the price of rice there now?
So again, Fambulena, just for reminding you quickly, of course, this is an edited video, edited in the sense, not to put word now, waiting the speakers of this video are saying, but edited in a sense to do a comparative analysis between the then and the now. And the two major speakers on this particular video is the predecessor to Marabio, who happens to have been announced by Koroma, and his incumbent, President Julius Maada Bio. So Julius Maada Bio accused the government, the outgoing government of Ernest Bai Koroma, of the people are tired of buying XYZ, and then we can see a response from the former president, because obviously he had to defend his government. And he did do so now on the basis of real time, waiting to happen now. So I want to pay attention once more that we get this video going.
And our legacy are waiting to
The internet, obviously, they play up. So the video, they free.
The price of price conquer from 60,000 to 120. Therefore, APC must go.
You know, everybody they holla, yes, it's true. Hardship day. Who said the hardship come on? Now the whole world day. If you did in Australia, you did in America, you did in they said they talk them. And they are even worried about more. So not to salon, not to we own economic policies or mismanagement. As a matter of fact, the way we don't handle things then, taking into consideration what we inherit. We have done it. I know say, you know, people then they talk, then they do all kinds of things, but I want for make when I get confidence, I be always provide that strong leadership
That they can make the education, quality education. Where are we today?
We don't do several things then wait for make it map any side. You know they cost anybody. You tell and say, "Bo, me na politics. Can't talk to you about me government. They don't do A, B, C. You go you pass Z stuff. Because the manifesto will be put out. When are the treatment of the things that will be say we they do? When I will put out, we don't done that one day.
So long go
People now the Renaissance movement. They don't say prices don't go up in the Renaissance movement.
Patriots, my name is Francis Ben Kaifala and I am Renaissance. The Sierra Leonean movement called for Sierra Leoneans to wear black money. Since independence to date, the Sierra Leonean has had a life that is less than what we would desire. We wake up in the morning worrying about the basic things that the rest of the world has forgotten. We worry about electricity, we worry about water supply, we worry about food, we even worry about security. Successive governments have failed us. This is the time for the Sierra Leonean to refuse to accept less and request more. We have to show our leaders that poverty is not a way of life. It is something which is man-made, and men all over the world have fought to change it. In Sierra Leone, it seems things cannot get better. Why? Why do people vote governments? Governments are voted to make the lives of their people better. If they cannot make their lives better, then that is a failure of social contract. And when there is a failure of social contract, the counterparties, in this case, who are the people, need to demand from the government that what is done is not what was agreed. We have to stand up for what we believe in. We cannot reject, we cannot accept this way of life. We have to reject it. In recent times, the economy has been destroyed. Inflation is galloping. The dollar has moved from 4,300 yuan in 2013 to 7,300 yuan in 2016. Inflation is something around 12.5%. Few days ago, even fuel, which underscores the basic movement of people to engage in economic activity, has moved from 3,750 yuans to 6,000 yuans. Why? How do they expect people to live? That is why we in the Renaissance movement are calling on Sierra Leoneans to wear black. The black is to show that the colors that have led us have failed us. Now in Sierra Leone, black is the new red. We are not ready to accept less.
The petrol price, 7,600. Renaissance leader at that time, they say then as an office now. We don't know the office side though. It's yellow and black. This country have to stop this country.
After independence, at the country, Sierra Leone, as savages, with the cutting self in your hand, they look a company, you lay in hand, you cut them. With, I mean, when you look at that, you know it's not a Sierra Leone, because we are peace loving people, we able, we make flower, and every human being in the world they make flower.
When I for no say, this party, now the party where go make this country transform. This party, now the party where go unify. From the time of Sheikh Stevens, when Sheikh Stevens came, go and get him national in the city.
Experience some serious internet service. As usual, this is now one of the most major setbacks. We've not been able to fix this, and the reason why we're not to fix this, from, we still do not have fiber up. Anyway, the video will be play on just now. Family, una self don't see him for una self. Una don't hear for una myself. And really, people are very boastful, are very boastful on this platform. On the basis of logic, on the basis of empathy, understanding the other side, the predicament. Why do I say this? The business we make I say this now because according to the video we wanna see, we play them intentionally for let una yeri waiting may happen then and waiting to happen now. Because many a times we've done this analysis. The current president made a case. People are talking on and on and on. We see the current leader of our national for the anti-corruption position. They've been a call for demonstration. And let people away and plan. We support at the time we and black back. Why was they doing it? Support the how should it even do cause of the situation now, and then they are heavily frowning on these. This now very difficult, honestly, fumbling. But here, like I said, this over, the one they understand how they come off from. That not very people have to for this, etc. You can and no else when they can get the how you go the incentive even free them up a little bit for say, oh, because of this, not because of that. No one, I believe, was making the argument on that basis for them. So on that basis, President Biokam, current President Biokam, and make an argument, say, well, people cannot continue to buy this. Our people are not happy. Yeri Francis Ben Kaifala. Government in basic duty, and that's how I opened this program on the basis on why and how President Julius Maada Bio, His Excellency, was elected. Now, on that basis, the day, because if a government is not looking after its people, if the welfare, the well-being of her people are not being met, and rightfully, like Francis Ben Kaifala say, there is a social contract. This social contract largely can be unwritten. Most of it is written because now out of an can draw, gonna be the constitution. This now so the constitution make this provision here and there. But away from that, it's largely unwritten, almost like a gentleman's agreement. The reason why they vote for you now because you go look after me, now because you go look after the country, now because your obligation and responsibility will be for you people. Now this is not the case. In 5 years on this program. And like I say again, we expect few people and it's a calling program, by the way. So I think I don't lay the case down. So if you want for call in and make a contribution, please feel free for do so. And at some point, I expect we'll get some live guests then. They won't stay too long. They will express their opinion, their sentiment, their perspective. Probably there will be a follow-up question. If there is, we'll hear them out. But obviously, we will continue for move on. The All People's Congress, obviously with the March 2 elections, the All People's Congress is not satisfied with the conduct of the election commissioner, Mohamed Kone. The All People's Congress feels Mohamed Kone, they act in behalf of President Bio. And in all means them words, they said exactly that Mohamed Kone, they act in the interest of President Bio, whilst it occupy a critical component of the election process, very, very critical. So Mohamed Kone is a very powerful man. In fact, by constitutional instrument or authority, na the legitimate man where the constitution recognized we get for declare who the winner is. So the APC is contesting this, not the declaration, but the process in itself. They feel that it's rigged against them. They feel that it is biased against them. So as a consequence of this, they've been challenging a few things. As we speak, they've made representation, and the case is in the Supreme Court of the Republic of Sierra Leone. And it does not only stop there, because other people also make the general case against the ECSL and other things that happen in the country. And as I understand, the court supposed for listening to these cases, because the idea here is, to me, sound like very common sense. Your responsibility, you cannot afford for abrogate the responsibility. The abrogate, abdicate your responsibility. You have to quick. So, like for example, election they come on June 24, which is like some 6 days, if not 5 days from today, because the 18 not done. So we basically they talk about the 19. We don't come. So in about 5 days' time, this election is supposed to be conducted. But the people that you are going up against, or the people that when they go up against you, for better use, lack of better words, they're saying they're not satisfied with the process. The question here is, do they have a right for question the process? I believe yes. And the reason why I say it again is because, as laid down by constitutional instrument, if we come into a contest with somebody, there will be rules where they guide that contest day. And that rules day, or their rules then they, not supposed for favor one side. It's supposed to be an open process, an open playing field. I'm not saying that the process is compromised. I just say this is what happened because we, the two sides. One, they say we have to go ahead, and the other one, when they go up ahead with, then they say this process is not fair to us. And as a consequence of this, there has to be a hearing that we view them. They will have to be considered, because we know that if we go into this election with the prevailing circumstance or circumstances, with the prevailing document data we available, which we've been suspicious of all along, we feel that will be duly, ruled out, in the sense that in terms of the winning. So even though we contest, we opposite, but between, because why? The system favor them. Officials that have been appointed who are supposed to conduct this process independently appear to be compromised. This is the case on the ground, and this case has been ongoing for quite a while. So on and on and on, whilst this case don't go on, just welcome people just join the platform now, as soon as I can see them there. So whilst this case they go on, say I'll bring you on shortly. So whilst this case they go on or ongoing, a lot of other things that happen. But the bottom line is the opposition made a representation. And it's not like, from the understanding, say the representation has not been heard. Because like I say, if I go up against another, then what definitely happens in this case is the rules would have been on design for conduct this process will have to be observed. If there are any foul to the rules, anybody foul the rule there, then definitely if the other side pick them up, they can make a representation. And as we speak now, this is what I understand that they have done. The opposition have made a representation to the court. But even before that, the representation made complaints to the Election Commission, NEC or ECSL as it is called now. They did. But the ECSL tried for allay and fear them by giving them guarantees that this process is not rigged. This process is going on as una be not asked. All una concerns them una don't make. And what are these concerns? concerns, according to APC, was about the disaggregated list. The ECSL under Mohammed Kone said this disaggregated list we want to talk about. We can't just, we will issue the list, but we can't just issue one now. This list will have to be scrutinized, analyzed, sanitized before they put them out. Yes, it's an obligation that we get for giving the list, and we even get for publicize them to the people, the general public. But this list, not a list we get like personal data. Personal data, I mean, if I were a voter, the ECSL don't capture me data, me profile, everything, date of birth, place of birth, address, and what have you. They are saying that they will not be making this public because that will be compromising the system, that's one, or compromising the security of the person involved. And they're not in the business of giving people a personal data to opposition parties. This is the case that the ECSL made. But the general one will represent constituency and voting platform them or centers, according to them, was presented to the All People's Congress. My question would be, what is the APC asking for now? But again, I think I've said enough, and I will bring in me co-host, Sekou John, at this time for opine. Olewiyeri, in your view on this entire issue, we're based on 72-hour ultimatum, President Bio name calling, is it a weakness or strength? And all the other things that we bother with election, both in the then and the now. Sekou?
Okay, thank you so much, Prince. Like you rightly say, well, Sierra Leoneans them them like how would they go into elections? Maybe Saturday. We all know you're voting the president's talk recently. We don't hear voting the APC presidential candidate back. Don't talk about the elections. So but it's we dey wait and see because now the 72 hours don't pass, and then we dey wait and see who step dem get for take. We don't see so far like today we see a letter where they see come up from the APC, and the seek for, like, then they notify the police about a plan, like something like a protest, like when they go to ECSL office and then hand over some like waiting, then think about the ECSL, like a paper like for Hanover Day, but then get for go day, and then we see the reply where the police then don't we reply to the APC. They invite them tomorrow Monday for make them discuss on the way forward, like how many people them get for the part of that group. We will go to ECSL, the route we them for follow, then thing and day. But we see today them been saying last day for the All People Congress for campaign at Freetown, and then again we hear also that the opposition be they go Pujon, Dr. Samura Kamara for go campaign at Pujon, but like we hear say according to the APC, they say them being attack Dr. Samura Kamara, but then they will not get details yet of voting not been the outcome of that incident day. But of course, will be some people then say them fire tear gas, stone, then people them in the stone themselves. So many issues, but hopefully let's see what thing will happen. But I believe say in elections, like this process will supposed to be largely like be trusted, because now only when una trust the process, una all take part, una trust the process and everything, then the outcome will be more acceptable by all, even though, well, Salone, we not get, and not to my knowledge, we not get a leader yet. We concede defeat. I not hear them yet. They say no, they're not green, I rig, they rig them. I think say we don't change government them from ruling party to opposition, opposition to ruling party. I believe say we need for, we need to adopt some best practice as well. So, issues then there, and then we believe say the authorities them we concern, especially the ECSL, they really need for address the issues them we the opposition they raise. Because, well, we don't see we the opposition raise them concern. They talk about where some man they say where if they were leading boycott other political party them, but we don't see again where political party then say they come out with a statement from some political party then gather, they say they don't endorse the president Julius Maada Bio, and then you they see what like two like the NDA na one with other Renep or something. The other one way the leader then the flag bearer then they say no, we party no did it. So it's like now some faction there between the party. They go sign on behalf of the party. We still discord day among the political party them. So they really need for like ECSL need for do the need for dialogue, sit and talk with the main opposition. Because me, like what I say, whose kind election it go be, especially presidential election. How you somebody go describe a presidential election na salon where, let's say for example, now only either SAPP no more take part, or APC no more. So then they call that the, well, you go call her elections, but like na very, very, very unequal, because go compare uh then other party like REFP to SAPP when it come to campaign for presidential voting self elections. Okay, go compare NDA to SLPP or APC when you can say, okay, now there were. You understand? So these are the things. So people really need for the leaders them. We really need for listen to each other. We engage, we dialogue, and down, and also like I be they say, we don hear recently, we know say somebody dey out there wey, okay, dey cause, like e dey cause, e dey wetin say dem, e dey cause back home leaders dem wey unacceptable. But at the same time, the way we leader dem dey react to dem thing dem dey, again, by like attacking other leaders them, saying okay, now una dey sponsor this person, now una dey instruct this person, say na for cause this person im mama cause than the I believe say dem thing dem dey back all the add petrol to the fire. And now it is strengthen the division of the country, the political division of the country. So we therefore really know how the leaders then really need for now for strategize, and for bring because at the end of the day, after elections, anybody will win again as Sierra Leoneans they get for govern. If for example the SAPP win, they not get for say now only the southeast then get for govern. No, they govern the whole of Salon. And then if na APC win, they not go tell we say na the northwest no more then get for govern. Then get for govern the whole of Salon. So therefore, we need peace and unity. We need messages during the campaign. If any political party or political leader, you campaign, you ride on divisive messages, when you win, you dey find out say you dey lead a country that is divided, but all will be as a result of the messages wey you been don dey send during the campaign. So na im make some of us wetin we dey continue for tell the leaders them for really be mindful of the messages, be mindful of how then they convey those messages. It's very crucial and very important because I believe say the fabric will hold Sierra Leoneans them together. Nobody no for try for Poel Dandy. So that's why we call on the leaders them for really be mindful, and we for no waiting really whose message will for pass, because we no go afford for divide our country, because when I remember, of course, we experienced the war, and then and Sierra Leoneans are poor, people and they suffer. So we believe say if fine for make, we go una go talk about policies, then thing in the how for change the lives of Sierra Leoneans, and not only for come begin for defend or begin make some kind lofty promises we not even achievable. I believe say we get for be realistic as at the same time. So while we dey wait for the CEO, Prince Krumah, and then I think Sila pass on to PK. Sometimes I get more for ad. Over to you, PK.
Yes, Sekou, many thanks. Of course, my video just switch off and I switch on to a different channel as well. But at the same time, I believe say family and they get me, but can I just commend you, for what you've just said, a very insightful and sort of when I say insightful, I'm not talking about INCITEFUL. I'm talking about SIGHTFUL. It's deep. And it's now voices of reason, they call for caution. Some things that the politicians need to do, because at this time we need leadership. But when they see the toxicity they on the rise, that people that we're supposed to exhibit maturity and leadership, they are calling for like a pound of flesh. That's what media understand. This is what they're calling for. And this is really unfortunate. Leaders need for exercise, restraint, and calm. Which takes me to President Bio. A recent talk in social media whilst he did on the campaign trail, and offended talk and they really difficult for absorb. The campaign is one thing, the president is on the campaign trail, so you can get issues with the campaign message. Like the reason why I played the video earlier, and for let una do a comparative analysis. President Bio was brought to power or voted into power, brought not the right word, voted into, I think are the most appropriate at the time, based on the message where he sell to the Sierra Leonean people, where the Sierra Leonean people then buy. They did agree with that message where he sell. The people are tired of buying a bag of rice for 200,000. The people are tired with this inflation where they take place, food inflation, normal inflation, lack of job opportunities for a restless young people. And he was given the opportunity. He became the president. Now he has become the president. We know there are conflicting stories. Some of them have been deliberately planted by the media just for help for confused people. But the reality that is there today is stark naked for the eyes for see. No, it's not better. The condition of the country today is not better. And I say this to the people that when they support the president in an extreme fashion, that the president himself has admitted this. Maybe I will find the video for play. The president was humble enough at some point for say, well, I really don't feel una. But I know say he provide excuse, say now as a consequence of XYZ. But any other leadership could have done that and say, I don't feel una, but now because the president of America, Barack Obama, not like me. That's why they put economic hardship on we, and because I don't agree with them. How the people get for cope with this? Because the reality is what waiting the day after and how for put food on the table. Their situation there does not really permit them for put food on the table. But the fact is, President Bio did admit to that. At some point, there's another video, and we hope so we'll find out tonight as well and play them, in which the president almost was apologetic to the people. He said clearly, he said, I don't think say I go able for help now. Yes, the president said that. I mean, this is a degree of failure. We can call it humility. Say, yes, he can be confessed. But if the number one gentleman of the country who is tasked with that responsibility, they not able to feed you, the people, the constituents, the electorates, those of us and those of us that never voted him in, because after he won power anyway, it make it clear that not only will he rule the one that will vote for him, but also the one that will not vote for him. But of course, that was just a statement of fact because obligatory wise, he had to do that. 48%, 46%, they are also Sierra Leoneans. Secular, just throw this over to you before I join you again on the second round.
Okay, yeah, I think I've been don't touch on them. I've been don't talk like earlier on.
Okay.
For say one thing, if politicians them, then you see messages them where them in the go through where the APC been they accuse the SLPP of during the campaign. You they find out say we been they get their reports and the some messages them, and now you they see the ramifications because hardly any time the APC go campaign na either Pujeo, Kenema or Kailaun, wo will no go yeri say they don't attack them, they don't stone them. So you dey connect that with the messages them. Okay, let's say a politician now, if politicians then don't campaign on like using messages, if they don't campaign using divisive messages, definitely let's say if they win, then go come preside, then go can lead a divided society, a divided country. So that is why it is important for them like to refrain or to avoid using divisive messages during the campaign, and because let them not just look at the immediate maybe benefit where that they bring. Maybe you get such a message where they go care when a divisive message where you that they galvanize you base, it is solidify you base. But at the end of the day, where you win, how that therefore affects your leadership, how that therefore accept your governance. You understand? Because at the end of the day, if you take maybe a democratic country where at least you for acceptability for day, people then for accept you as a leader, people then go for see you as then your leader, whether they vote for you or not, because at least majority go don't vote for you. But if you come on a platform using a divisive vehicle you can power, then definitely you go find it difficult because some people go even say, "Bo, not to me president," because them in non the cause we then don't tell you this, they don't treat you that way. So that is why it's very crucial and very very important for leaders take time during the campaign and make them be cautious and then be conscious of the messages, the campaign messages, where then they relate to the population. Yeah, so I don't know waiting. I believe say PK they try for work on for get some people then at the background so that we're supposed to get some people there or can join on this discussion. So therefore,
Yeah, Sekou, you're absolutely right. I did get some interference, and as a consequence of my own, doing. But I hang on every word which you say, and you are absolutely right. You see, Salon people, and let me speak to one directly, and I think this is what we are actually trying to do. The thing that we say John mentioned just now are real, and this is the approach of the politicians there now. But this is an artificial fix. It's a quick fix. It sounds like a drug addict. It wants a quick fix. It can do anything. It can go kill person. It can go thief. Just forget that it fixed it. But that fix then an artificial fix. You know, they last long. We can find ourselves. And we need for the speak up to the situation and say this is not the solution to the problem then. It is not. Now it make we outline this and say, Fambulemuna watch you. This is what the president said then. Una need for get sense enough for able for absorb waiting and we say then as to what is the reality now. But if not to that measurement day you use for arrive at your conclusion, then something is wrong. And when they say for good think otherwise, the presidency, the cost of food, or we don't go on the basis. The basic metric system we will use is every government gets an obligation for look after in people. This is a universal fact. That's what they do. That's what they campaign on. Now, waiting and get for do for you. That's what they've got in there. Most times, yes, it's flashy because they beat each other. Opposition, income, current, always try to beat each other. Unfortunately, it does work on our people. If you don't realize, it's difficult, very, very difficult. It's the truth. How long it will take for let we in the reality today? This is not the reality today. And as I speak again, I want to take Una back to the video. Let we have a look or listen again, because this is important. You can make up your mind, say, you know what, I'm not interested in waiting the president be said then. All I know are the supporter now. Well, that's absolutely up to you. You can support them as much as you want for support them. But then where's the common sense? That's the point. So let me listen to the president, and it's a comparative video and a conversation between the former president and this president based on the meeting against each other. Let's take it. Fambule.
The mismanagement of the All People's Congress. I have seen it at first.
So, Seku, I do that deliberately because I've been one for let we analyze this video. We very clearly, I say I do that deliberately. I stop the video and pause at that point there because I've been one let we take them again and analyze that. This is clearly a candidate for the presidency, then candidate Bill. They say this is not tolerable anymore in the opposition leader. And we can fast track until now. I mean, we already had an idea what he said then, all the things that he said then, and waiting to happen now. What do you really think, say, or you even think that way they say there is a problem probably with people then? Because if somebody can tell me, say, you know what, the way how the cost of food they go up, you don't need for trust John again, we're responsible for that. But you can trust me because if you give me what you want, me go able for turn this around. But yet, into time, we see say this situation is not turn around at all. Instead, it don't exacerbate, it don't become worse, it don't expand. And I wonder how you see this conversation with the president get then compared to now.
Yeah, so like I think say we've been I think me and the professor just now about almost an hour ago. Now then kind of we've been talk about critical masses. People need for like okay, una know wetin una been vote for. Una check again because all the politicians them can talk loftily when in opposition, but when you come, the reality sink and you see things will be different because we don't see voting candidates. Mother Bill been talk at the time about one bag rice, the price of one bag rice, you take that day now, you relate am to wetin dey happen now, you dey find out say it's completely different. So but then you dey see dem get the art of designing excuses as to why make really this idea pass the previous from who side dem take. Dem get dem excuses dem dey. But now na dey now the rational, the critical masses for being critical thinkers. And again, if una pull politics inside there, una check una one thing, una welfare, waiting how whether una lives then don't change for the past years to now, whose impact the government in policy don't get in una lives, una
Yes.
check una use them parameters then dey for analyze and conceptualize certain things, and then una take decision. But as long as na for say okay, me comot na this region, Dande comot na that region, or me na this tribe, or that na Dande na that tribe, na so una dey vote, una go really really continue. Like you dey find out say almost na the same story from Pakaba, because me na from Pakaba in time now I can like for talk about, because for go that too far, like you wasting your time. But you dey find out say from Pakaba in time, we get rest issue, rest expensive, rest there, rest this. Kanto and Eskoroma in time the same thing, and then now Kanto Madabio in time the same thing. So you dey find out say like how me and Professor been dey talk just now, there is no national agenda for highlight certain thing. Then the country say okay, you know what, this na in our agenda, make all like the politicians them, the political party then, despite them if they get ideology, uh, make them design them policies or the manifestos around achieving this national agenda. But it's not there. All man they come, all man they try for outsmart the other one. Where this person start this, as he left, or as he left no more, this other one what they can't do now for. If this don't go, let's say if a project happen, I remember we Dr. Richard Conte been they talk about one hospital now, I think Lumley, where they building been don't go up, they don't do almost it been there up to finishing level. It's a way the wire come, where the SAPP come, then start another building. So instead of completing that one, putting furnitures and all that thing in there. So basically, what you would they say? People in the party business don't, they are now, lot of people are blinded. Now you dey see somebody, people they not get, almost they not get something where they stand up for. Most people not get values, they not stand for something. And some of them can want for like them can want for impose the lack of values, lack of like agenda in their life. So then can want for really really force you for think like them. As you think differently, then you are the target. So you dey find out say, well, if you stand up, let's say for example, like okay, you say thing then there under like you vote against Samura Kamara 2018 because of Tranganess, because of all them human rights issues and then thing and day. But they find out say the same people, the same problem they exist, but they find out say now the thing where them in the condemn that in the 2018, now the same thing in the support now. So you find out, so you they ask yourself, okay, wait, to how this person they think, what thing happen? You understand? Because the same story, almost the same excuses, where the government of the APC government be they give by then, you dey find out saying a similar and just slight difference. Now the APC, them in the talk say, well, the impact of Ebola make the economy go down, and then now them in the talk about iron, what in the prices of minerals, iron ore, and then and so then now they don't get excuses. So okay, but despite that, una not listen. They una say, you know what, una not serious, una not able to handle this, and they say okay. Then government say okay, now for try for solve this problem. Now they say they declare what they call austerity for able for control for no make them no waste, make them not spend who side not necessary. Okay, but despite that, Sierra Leoneans then say, you know what? No, listen, we know they entertain una. Okay, so meaning una stand for something at that time. But now we don't see again the same problem, or if not worse. But again, una the same people that will be vote against, say rest been there that 10 day. In fact, members wait a minute, say waiting Colombo no they sit on hungry boku.
Yeah.
Okay. But now, una we been the dance say Tolombo no they sit on hungry boku at that time. But now I don't know whether the hungry is still boku or it don't reduce. Can they now? But what you they try for say, if una really stand like una say, okay, no, we know they encourage any government we not can able control this rice business, ubele, you know able address ubele. If you be saying a true una stand for that, then we go no. But what are they try for say? But now una the same one that we been they sing again, una been the blast for the
infrastructure.
una blast for them, una take decision against that government by then based on them wire. But the same thing now don't worst. But then now some of una they defend and now una be reject the excuses where the previous one them been give. So sometimes somebody go wonder, okay, hello, excuse me, what do you stand for? Okay, if you talk about human rights, you talk about human rights violations and all that thing in the been they happen before. Yes, because now there is some but not so we started, not so now it begin. In fact, this person may not kill, this person may not do this. Okay,
Yeah.
but now do you really like stand for something? You really they against human rights violations? If yes, why you been there against it in 2018, but 2023 you the defender? So sometimes they understand how people in the think. It's just like they put their party's interest first above the country in interest. Me now that no more I say for now that's
whole
at the
delivery agent.
and you they see now if where you not agree, you'd say, okay, you know what? Let me think differently, independently. You get control over your opinion and you waiting you they say your decisions where you not allow one myopic interest or selfish interest come for dictate to you how you they think, how you they support a political party. So now they begin call you all kind of name. You not neutral. You na APC. You na RFP. Come on. Who still na the grow? Again, and people and diversity back. We get forget diverse views. You know means the way me and you
we
disagree.
get you now
So
an opportunity for talk to the people of this country. We feel that way, we feel aggrieved. So as head of
Yes, sorry for that interruption. Continue.
yeah. So these are the problems we really they face. Like again, people are not then like they're allergic to different views. Then now there you no more. Where somebody can talk differently. Oh, you they see them they attack you left, right, and center. So they know they even stomach like for read something where they know lack. Read something what in that person they say makes sense past what in you they talk. But it not easy, it's difficult. So you dey find out say again let's say 2018 people and they wey been there against police brutality, right? Dem been there against wey dem kind of power. Now you dey see the same thing dey happen, but dem wey been there against police brutality now na dem dey defend. So you still dey ask yourself, okay, what do you stand for? You dey see dem dey bring all kind flimsy excuses for just because na their own political party dey na power, because then na dem dey get benefit or something. Just dey come out. You dey see some man like it's really sad. So we not get
A
people and
resilient
almost not get what
healthcare
they stand for.
system.
Yeah, so yeah, I dey see you dey wetin sef some videos dem. Let's just wait till you try for and see what you go make out
Not
of
really.
your.
I mean, you're making your points, and I apologize, yeah, because I've been trying for find certain video, but I get like an archive just full of the President Bio in video them. But I've been look for specific one. Them unfortunately, when you do them in a live program, it interfere with the
Yeah,
live
yeah.
program. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, I mean, what you've just said, it make a lot of sense. And we go talk about one or two things I need for let you go. You've been talking for almost like 4 hours plus now. But this is
Yeah.
the price I believe that we have to pay for country. But trust me, I'll let you go soon. But before I come to the point where I want to ask you, can I just ask you this based on what you just said just now, in terms of the president in much vaunted program, free education, human development index? I mean, there seems to be a contradiction and some falsity about all of this. You know what they speak from one side of you, what they talk about the human development index. That's how you improve your society. They become like sane human beings. I mean, philosophical thinkers, people and when they make decisions based on information, they're able for read and write and decipher what is good and what is bad. But Seko, it doesn't seem to be going that way. And the people and we say the funny thing or the ironic thing to me could be wrong about the people that we say, well, we education program, here is taking off ground, is doing well, the HDMI and all the big jargons. But the truth is, the people that we're supposed to reflect from, we're not seeing any of it. Is it that because it's too early, or is it taking root at all?
Well, no, well, me again, now one of the people them we considering like voting I be left. I know they talk much, but the quality aspect of it. But one, I believe say, I don't dey talk I believe say, I honestly believe say some improvement don't take place na the educational sector, because if I know what you mean they go on, like I know what you mean they happen, and I believe say a lot of changes don't happen again. But the quality side, well, I know go talk much on that, because again you dey see, well, now if you did at the ground more, you go able to ascertain that. But like what you they see from outside and what you they hear from people, well, no matter how you take it, you look at I believe my opinion is on that. I believe say some changes don't happen in the
Okay.
educational sector. Now, whether now it don't happen at the rate where then they say it don't happen, then they I know do a research on that. So, but I believe say some changes don't happen because I been know waiting been they happen before. So that's how they like that's my opinion on that aspect there.
So we also see election they come where now in a few days time. But whilst the two different party or all party then they on a campaign trail, but the two major one the way people that they keep eye on, which is the president in party and the opposition party of the when they see sparks they fly. We see recently the president of the country say one or two things where, of course, an opinion to within the presidency. In other words, just inside a week, I believe, the president mentioned by name somebody we may not dismiss, we say not really relevant to the society. In fact, now other people have been come, but he managed for bringing him come up almost like challenging in a way, with shock and surprise a lot of people that I know. The same week or just the following week, the president on the campaign trail again was seen to be attacking a former president, the man we inherit power from. And the way I will put him, some people let's say, you be better, etc. But of course, you know, with the opinion, what are you take on all of this?
Yeah, to be honest, like I think say I be again I don't mention about Dandy. Like I believe say well unfortunate because one you they see already from well a lot of people in the say the country polarize now than any other time like in the past. So but then for lay the president would like more or less okay they say are the challenge, but again not only that the thing wey make a discourage like me heart spoil like na way e say okay if big man no dey behave like big man we dey treat her like bobo or they will go reduce am to nothing. To me you don't use such word against a former president. And like somebody you say okay again the other day I think we go Kailao he make a statement say how he get evidence. I think he talk am back now. Puloko say he get evidence say na the former president dey sponsor this guy wey dey cause Mami cause na big leaders dem na Sierra Leone wey really nice, nice that act dey back no fine at all. But then is now the president, then they try for link say okay, then get evidence say the former president they support this guy. And in fact, now in the tell am say would I you for cause, would I mama you for cause today? To me, well, until I see evidence of that thing in day, I go find them very difficult for believe. Say
And
like
just a
that
quick
former
one say, just a quick
Mhm.
one say, are they budgie now? Because I need for let you go, and I get just few questions to ask you, and I want to make sure say I ask them quickly. Why you think say because the president prior to now was he looked very conservative in many respects. He said very less. And a few weeks ago, if not a few, on the campaign trail, he was seen to be letting his guard down by dancing and what have you. But lately, he looked kind of tense. Maybe I did describe him differently, but in fact, these along the way, now they utter them words they are we tend for divide opinion. I wonder why the president, if you get any idea at all, at this time, would they use such language na a public stage?
Yeah, so it depends on how well whose words them you want describe, or you want use for describe the situation or the reasons why make you feel say the president make such statement. Well, some school of thought they say, okay, you know what, the thing don't like in the president force where Dr. Samura Kamara they complain to the ECSL, he say the game get yagba if you know able for Pulan. So we go even connect, we go reverse am. So we go tell is it safe for make we ask say okay this same game here where the president dey talk say e get yagba if like if other if Samura they know Ibule them pull am. So are we safe to say now that same game that yagba dey na im go don meet the president wey make they make them statement there yeah, for try maybe some schools of thought they say well now they try for make the other guy they look bad, the former president for they look bad for just gain sympathy. Some man they say that, but of course it depends. Some man they say no, well the former president and they do this, but like to me again, like I dey repeat and I publicly say, well I no feel say the former president go sit down. He go get imagine if we're talking about a former president for send somebody say curse Mr. X in Mama today, curse Mr. Y in Mama today. I not feel say
Yeah.
Dan they go do that. So me na that make I really like okay. I say well we don't reach to level where high at all than the whether somebody say am or not. But that is my opinion, you know. But for say the former president they do that, it really unfortunate for say that they na then kind gatherings then they and all that thing then they now they fan some division. It bring out some like disgruntlement among the people them like okay you remember where even the president he they find out say he get a reason for say something like, okay, Kaila, you say una been don't say waiting me lenient with not to so yes, but now una, you know, that it's like you they use now the same thing I talked earlier on. Politicians, you use divisive messages for make people and support you and make them vote for you. But at the end of the day, you not to that people and where you they target no more. Not to them people and they where you they transmit that message they to where you will not to that day no more you get for be a president for. Remember, say you get for be president again for the one day where you the hot with that you statement day. So now after let's say after if you win, you become president. How do you go back to the one day where you hot? What do you get for tell them? You
Yeah.
know, so then thing and they so you dey find out say where you can power now, you they come, you they lead a country where divided because there were the get you don't go because imagine now the a whole president. So imagine let's say the people of Kailaun because now they make that statement, the people of Kailaun will believe say now the president says talk and say that the former president now in the instruct this boy woulda a mama for course then go believe because it came from the president. So while the one then way dey na the APC stronghold, then go say no, not so true. So you don't count division.
Yeah.
So
You
na it make
absolutely.
yeah, so now that make you get for really, really like be careful because at the end of the day, na Sierra Leone. And
So you absolutely.
you know go detach the north from the northwest from this southeast. Now the same country. So that's
So
why the
you're
message.
absolutely right, Seku. And but the idea is ruling divide and rule, now artificial way of ruling, because in the end, the country can be in danger because of that. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, when you come on at the middle, it erupts. We've seen it many a times. There are many precedents for this. Quick one, 72-hour ultimatum by the All People's Congress. What's your take? Now, the only alternative they get, how do you see it? Why? And what do you think is going to happen?
Okay. Well, anyway, like again, this evening, we see two press releases. We see one way they say again because we get to be careful because one till I make this there. We don't see again way Sierra Leoneans and people the way you feel say you respect like because of politics, then they lie outright, like lie. Then they forward, then they come out with some, then they design like lighting them. We don't see press release them when are fake, when are some people the way you go, you been the feel say no, this person credible. So you they see them like by that, they feel say then they do harm to the maybe the intended person where they want for damage, but at the same time then they lost credibility, then they dent their own image because if me say okay, if I get party X, I dey go lie for somebody like you. So for example, I dey go make fake lies and I not saying a lie and you self no saying a lie, but I go that far for lie for let me party come. So how trust go there between me and you in the future? You know, so we don't see a lot of press release that we see people away they forward denting and they for deceive the public. But anyway, today we will see the APC them being issued. That we see a press release where dated I think yesterday the 17th, where them in the notify the police about then say they get for the one for make a protest or something for go present some voting self to the ECSL. So now again we see the police them come out with their own press release, say well the need for sit down with the people that we write them that the Secretary General and other leaders them the need for sit down with the police them and discuss and see the route for waiting they use for go to ECSL and now how many people and then thing and then the need for talk. So we don't see at least some amount of talking. Again, I see one press release where I think a PPRC, but I know to read them because I've been the make haste for come do the interview. But I believe say some dialogue now don't begin take place. So what did I try for say? It's like what me see it's like you get you daddy. Now Kone na in Sierra Leoneans them, he get a huge responsibility for ensure say one he conducts the elections, and again he get huge responsibility the way he dey conduct himself and the way they do things for make it appear the conduct make it appear credible and trustworthy. But now if the other side not satisfied, if again then they ask question, even though then they say okay this information been done give them, that information been done una been done receive am, but there was still the raise question. So una dem also get a bigger role for play for make sure that like because at the end of the day the result na im get for be acceptable, the acceptability of the result na im matter most. But how the result will be accepted if the process is not trusted? So therefore, now they, the electoral commissioner, get a bigger responsibility for ensure it's not about only being neutral, but you need to be seen neutral. But now, how you go do for make them see you as a neutral person? One, now by you listen to the other one the way they cry. Even though when I get people the way they say, hey, no, them don't give them this, then don't give them that. But listen to them. Show them say you care for them. Show them say you respect them concerns. You make attempt for address. So you dey develop trust and confidence and go say, no, this person he look fair. But if you then talk like tension come between una and then you dey find out say like what you just the bulldoze, then definitely you don't count problem. Again on the other side, like the
Okay,
police.
yeah, I get for you go, I apologize. I try for make a short. You are a good observer and a good analyst. One of the things they must we understand why the ultimatum is being given or was given now for the resignation of Mohamed Kone. Mohamed Kone don't come out and say he will not resign. You think first of all, what do you make first of all of the ultimatum by the opposition for acts that the chairperson of the election commission stepped down?
Okay, so I think say, or again, na my opinion, but I think say that was extreme because it's like now two things involved now. It's either now the APC they don't push them at the corner, they not get any way for like who side and don't corner them, they not get any way for free themselves from that. Now for hip that bomb day because for say Leuna resign, that means na the top what is self dandy. So now like again what it lead to dandy because we don't host lot of APC then yeah, they don't can, they don't cry, they don't say, okay, we want this, we want that, we want that. Even though, yes, the ECSL, they say, no, we don't give them this, but still in the request this and that. And now, even for the counting, for the transmission of result, all the issue then they then get for like sit down and talk. But it's like now, they find out, say, the APC, then don't like, they find out, say, where where you, 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 you go meet up either cats, you go meet up on a corner, you don't take your shoe or you don't take stick, you don't wrap up until you fight back. So you dey find out say they more or less if you are you call and say like they are frustrated, so then decide say okay, you know what, this year now they will not because they not really listen to it, we get for ask for they resign. So maybe from that now, well, what thing will happen now after the 7 because other one then they say, but 72 hours don't pass. So thing they do well una boycott. Not una no more na political party, other party than they. So that you they give okay, so but at least me I believe say now out of desperation. Where some man they say well we don't see where the opponent then they say well they're not prepared, they don't see say then they can't lose. Okay, you go it depend on from whose angle you dey look at am. E go be say okay na true they not prepare, they not but then if they're not prepare but then they go campaign, then they not miss them campaign them. But okay, let's say for argument's sake, now true, they're not prepared. You will say, okay, one. But again, but there are issues them waiting the call for. Then say, when I do correct this thing, this thing. But if una turn, una not dey listen to them, definitely now the only option this. And again, not to the only option, maybe because you don't see now the one for make a peaceful protest, for make them voices be heard, make the ECL leader, make ECSL leader, make it listen to them, and for make, and this now for just for let the process be free and fair. So make it become, make people and get confidence in them.
All
And
right, Seiko, yeah, indeed. But
yeah,
do you think, I want to let you close this program now, and the last word is yours. Do you think these elections will be held on the 24th? And we'll not talk about the international community, but if you can just compress all of that into your closing program, conclusion, whether this election will be held on the 24th, based on what you hear and the see, and the international community, the rule, how you perceive this whole thing. Just a few, basically 90, 92, 96 hours from now. How you
okay. I know hear the clear the last statement where you make. But whether I
so,
believe
so the elections, you think it will go ahead on the 20, because from which we agree, if that were to be honored, the government is saying, of course, no. Opposition is saying, well, we need for do this, and these are logistical problems. And if they will have to go that way, that means the elections will be postponed. Do you think it will be
yeah,
postponed? And the international community? That's my final question to you.
well, I not get a definitive opinion whether they go postpone them or not. It depends on how it's like, because voting they make them postpone. And let's say for example, certain demands then they, if they say for do denting in the, like, okay, then for say okay, because of this we're not go able for conduct the elections, because let's say for the ID cards, say for example, or well the, but other demands they like for agree on how for transmit the result. I know if you say that day it too difficult for lead and do, and from now to the time to elections. But whether I feel say then go postpone am or something, uh, I think say to me own opinion I wait and see, because we dey see where government they say the election they know they postpone them. But again, let's see about what thing go happen now. It just matter of wait and see something. Okay, Fambulem, this na Cycle John. Again, I think say we don't, I believe say Prince they really try for do some other stuff, and we they wait for them for make it cancel that me they sign out. But yeah, I believe say this na matter of just wait and see, because we don't see now yesterday Saturday the ballot paper them for come na Freetown, but I think see them in postpone them. I think I see something like a document like that. So think they're not too well clear, but as of now, then say the election get for take place. Now that then say it get for take place, but issues then they go on between the main opposition and the ruling party. So we go wait and see what thing get for happen. We hope say no more, like, then go able for do the right thing, make we get free and fair elections, and so that we go able get a result way acceptable to everyone, or at least, well, again, because if you check back the past history, we leader then hardly for concede. Even though I think Solobi been called an Eskoroma, I think he been called am, if I don't forget. I think I no more been do than there. But from there, we not see yet Uda concede. all man they say, well, na me win, but then thief. So that attitude they already. But what in normal me they try for say we get for really. I think say the peace na the country is very paramount. So na that I believe. So and politicians them all need for work for make peace prevail in the country. Yeah, I don't know whether PK they listen now or he look busy small, So but na matter of wait and see anyway whether the elections they hold or not. And we get for wait and see, because today we see where the All People Congress then get the rally na Freetown, So we dey wait and see until like tomorrow Monday the APC and the police then get a meeting and talk, and on the plan, notice way the All People Congress give to the police them about for them people then for go or for make them go na ECSL, where whether you call it for, well, then the get for go they for go submit them position on the whole system, because say them in don't issue a press release, they don't express concerns. So whether now waiting get for be the outcome like tomorrow again, like I think say important decisions then get for be taken anyway for the few days where they come leading to Saturday, the slated date for we elections. So I think say na yeah we go stop for today. I don't know where. Okay, I believe say PK go come back and for come continue. But I believe say we go round up the program now, and now so we go end the program. And tomorrow I want to remind viewers them that tomorrow we get lawyer Rashid Dumbuya. He get for come tomorrow. We get for talk with now a human rights lawyer. He talk about he champion a lot of stuff then about Nasalone, the human rights issues then. But until then, I'm Mr. John. They say una good night, and we thank una all for the share una, the share the links, and then until then, I'm Mr. John. They say goodbye.